Mercedes-AMG has an all-new halo car coming to market. This luscious green beauty beside me is known as the AMG GT R. Now, before you start thinking that I'm talking about a Nissan, this is the company's flagship of the AMG GT and GTS that they showed a couple of years ago. Now, named exclusively after the north side of the Nürburgring, also known as the Green Hell, this car is promising to be the most track-focused AMG that the company has ever produced. I'm at one of 14 AMG performance centers in the country here at Euro Motorcars Bethesda. Let's take a first look. Now, Mercedes-AMG has been promising an even harder version of the GT and GTS since the car's inception a couple years ago, and as you can see, this GTR may have been well worth the wait. The entire car has a very stunning appearance to it. In fact, this beautiful shade of Designo Green Hell Magna paint will be a factory color, and I'm glad to see that green is making a comeback within the automotive industry. Now, if you look at the body of the GTR, it's significantly wider than the GTS. The whole car is about 2.2 inches wider, which makes room for engineers to put fatter tires, 20-inch tires in the back and 19s in the front, on 325s in the rear and 275s in the front. I mean, these are really specific track-focused tires, and it gave the AMG GTR the ability to really tackle the most challenging portions of the Nürburgring. Now, if you look at the design of the front for this car, it's got a slightly new fascia. This is what AMG calls their Panamericano grille. It's got these 15 vertical slats, chrome slats that go throughout. It's a very different look for the GTR for sure. In fact, Mercedes says this whole car's bodywork adds significant downforce, especially when you're traveling at its top speed, which the company claims is about 198 miles an hour. Now, underneath the hood of this car, you still have the 4-liter bi-turbo V8 that was in the GT and GTS. Mercedes-AMG did turn up the wick on this car. It now pushes out 577 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. You can thank that to the increased boost pressure, which is now sitting at 19.6 psi versus the 17.5 for the GTS. With Mercedes-AMG claiming this car will get to 60 in 3.5 seconds, the rear end is something you probably should get used to seeing. And honestly, I think 3.5 is a little conservative considering the AMG GTS was doing it in like 3.2. This car, I imagine, will be a 3-second car to 60. Now, looking at the rear end design, you're going to notice quite a few changes versus the GTS. This fixed rear spoiler is one of them. It is slightly adjustable, so you can change the downforce or play with the downforce if you guys decide to take this car to the track. Another couple of things you're going to notice, the exhaust on this car is way more aggressive. It's got its own uniquely tuned exhaust, a little bit louder than the already bonkers GTS, and now you've got actually 3 exhaust pipes. There's a new one that's in the center. Now, a couple of other things I want to show you really quick. This particular one is a European spec model. It does have these really cool looking sequential turn signals, which I'm sorry to say aren't making it to US production, but the entire car itself is pretty much production ready, right down to the color, right down to the entire body kit. Now, speaking of the structure really quickly, AMG did outfit this car with way more carbon fiber versus the GTS. The body structure, the suspension, the drive shaft all has carbon fiber, which makes this car a lot stronger, and Mercedes didn't really increase the weight all that much. The European spec model weighs right under 3,500 pounds, which is right in line with these cars' main competitors from like the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. On the inside of the GTR, you're basically greeted to the same tech-laden, luxurious, and spacious cabin as the GT and GTS. Now, there's a couple of different tweaks here just to show you you're in the hottest version of the car. All the yellow stitching that you're seeing in here and the yellow seat belts are exclusive to the GTR only. There's a lot more carbon fiber in the interior, just going with the theme of the exterior, and the whole car just feels a lot more wide. I mean, Mercedes had to increase the width of this car, and you really feel it when you're sitting inside the vehicle. The hood is very long, it's very wide, and you sit very, very low. This car definitely feels a lot lower versus the AMG GT and the GTS. Now, my particular tester has these basically race car seats, which are manual, but these are not going to be a US production spec seat. You're going to basically see the same seats from the GTS, which will be power. These particular ones that I'm sitting in are the manual seats only. Now, the GTR will be going on sale as a 2018 model in the middle of 2017 with no pricing yet announced, but Mercedes promises this car will be under $200,000 when it does go on sale. For Redline reviews at the AMG Elite Center here at Euro Motorcars in Bethesda, Maryland, I'm Sofyan Bey.